Hi, so my name is Movie Fan, and you are watching a channel called Movie Fan. Yes, my name is Movie Fan. That's what it says on my birth certificate and everything. You don't have to look it up. It's just my name. It's a normal name. Okay, so for the longest time, I have wanted to make a movie review YouTube channel. Like, I see a bunch of YouTube videos where people are doing that, and I like watching movies a lot, and I like talking about movies. So I figured I should make a movie review channel talking about the themes of movies that I really love. And one of my favorite movie franchises is the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's been going on for 11 years. It has 23 movies. I figured I would rank all 23 of them today and review them in a short period of time. I say short, but I don't know how long this video is going to be. I just started filming. I'm just going to get right into the ranking. Number 23, starting us off, is The Incredible Hulk. It is the worst movie in the MCU, in my opinion, because I haven't seen it. It is the only movie in this universe I have not seen yet. I want to see it at some point, but I haven't seen it yet. I can understand the MCU without it. I hear it's a bad movie, but I haven't seen it, so I can't judge. From here on out, I have seen all of the other 22 movies, so let's get into my actual list. 22, my actual least favorite, is Thor: The Dark World. I have seen this movie, but I might as well have not, because it's almost like I haven't, because I can't remember a thing that happens in it. Okay, that's not true. I can remember the basic plot, but specific lines and specific details, I can remember all of that about other MCU movies, just not for The Dark World. There is nothing about it memorable at all. All of the characters are one note. It's just boring, and as a result, I can't remember a lot about it. I like the relationship between Loki and Thor, but besides that, there's nothing about this movie that I remember or care about. Number 21, Iron Man 2. This is one that I can remember a lot about it. I have seen it, but I just do not like it, because the entire middle section, there's like no action in it at all. Because of that, I find the movie to be very, very boring. With other MCU movies, there are times in the middle or like at the beginning where there is nothing really big happening, just like Iron Man 2. But with those, I care about what's happening. With Iron Man 2, I really didn't care about what's happening. But the action here is actually great. I love a lot of the action scenes. Unfortunately, there's not enough of it. 20, Iron Man 3. Just barely edging out Iron Man 2, because with Iron Man 3, it is a good movie, technically. It doesn't feel like an MCU movie. There's a dumb villain twist. There, like Iron Man 2, isn't a lot of action. You don't even have to watch this movie to understand everything else that happens. Tony Stark retires at the end of this movie, but then he's back in Avengers Age of Ultron. It's just really weird. Now, number 19, Thor. Thor is sort of two movies in one. It is one that I really like on Asgard, and it is another that isn't good at all on Earth. The Earth scenes here are really, really boring, but the Asgard scenes are great. I love the Frost Giant scene, which isn't technically on Asgard, but you know what I mean. The entire middle and the entire end are great. I love everything that happens on Asgard, and if had they made the whole movie on Asgard, I probably would have liked it a lot more. Number 18 is Avengers Age of Ultron. this is where the movies actually start to get good. I like Avengers Age of Ultron. I've seen it 4 times now, and the first time I watched it, I actually liked it better than the original Avengers. But the more I watch it and the more I think about it, it gets worse. It's one of those movies. There's something about it, though, that feels off. So it comes down low, though I can't really tell you why. Number 17 is Ant-Man and the Wasp. The first time I watched this movie, I liked it a lot more than I do right now because it's a really funny movie. It's probably, like, up there, one of the funniest movies in the MCU. If you take all the comedy away, the plot here, I don't care about it. Without the jokes, the movie really is just average. That was probably the shortest time I've spent talking about a movie this entire time. Number 16, Ant-Man, the original Ant-Man. This one I like more than Ant-Man and the Wasp because it's not just the jokes. It is the first time the MCU went full comedy, and they did a great job. It's not just the jokes here. The action here is very clever. All the shrinking things. I love the action on the train set at the end. That's one of the best action sequences in the MCU, in my opinion. I like how it's like a heist movie. I like when, like, there's just a movie with an elaborate plan that just comes together at one point. Like, that's probably why Toy Story 3, which I'll talk about later on this channel, is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's just not as big as the other movies on this list. No pun intended, because shrinking. Just like this little side story compared to all of these other, like, movies in this universe. So I like it, but I can't put it higher. Number 15 is Doctor Strange. And man, okay. This movie, whenever I watch it, I'm always like, this is a really, really good movie. Doctor Strange is really good. But whenever I'm thinking about it and reflecting on it later, I don't think it's as good as I think when I'm actually watching it. If that made sense. Now, number 14, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. A movie that I think is very overrated by some people. It's not as good as the first movie. Just whoever said it was as good as the first movie, no. I mean, you can have your own opinion, but in my opinion, it is not even close. I like all the moments with the characters. It's a really funny movie. But other people have said this, but it's just copying the original. The original is much higher. It came down at number 14, still good. 13, Captain Marvel. I know that a lot of people don't like this movie. I've only seen it once, so it could go down or up depending on when I see it again. The one time that I saw it, I really liked it. I can understand some of the complaints. It was a really good movie. I like some of the surprises that they threw in there, like, spoiler alert. I like the whole thing about the Skrulls and the Kree, how the Kree actually turned out to be the bad guys and the Skrulls the good guys, and how Goose the cat is the best character ever, and besides maybe Groot is awesome. Go Groot. Yeah, it does just feel like another Marvel origin story that they've made so many at this point. Which I like the origin stories. Most of the origin stories are really good. Number 12, Captain America, the First Avenger. Speaking of origin stories, this is one of the first that Marvel ever made. I think it was the third. Incredible Hulk. I don't know if it was an origin story or not. I haven't seen it. It was the 5th movie ever made. It was the 3rd origin story, maybe. Steve Rogers, Captain America. I have his shield over there. He's one of my favorite characters in the MCU. My second favorite. I'll tell you my favorite later. He's really good in this movie, but he's like the only good thing. Like, other characters are good, Bucky, Peggy Carter, but besides the characters, there's nothing else about this movie that really makes me care about it. It's still really good, though. A lot of these are. Number 11, Thor Ragnarok. The funniest movie in the MCU. It is so funny. Yes, I've heard the complaints. A lot of the comedy cuts off the emotion, which is probably why it's at number 11 and not in my top 10. I still like the movie, just that one tiny complaint puts it down a bit. Now we're in my top 10, and I should have said this when I first started talking about Thor Ragnarok. This is when the movies get really, really good. All of these movies up here, they're just great. So number 10, Spider-Man Homecoming. The best interpretation of Spider-Man. Tom Holland is the best Spider-Man actor ever. I haven't actually seen the Amazing Spider-Man movies, but I've seen, out of the 8 that they've made so far, 6 Spider-Man movies, and Tom Holland is my favorite actor, of all of the Spider-Man actors. The reason that I probably have this one at number 10 and not higher is because, yes, the technology-based Spider-Man doesn't follow the comics, but if you're basing it off of how it follows the book, I wouldn't really worry about that too much. Spider-Man Homecoming, one of my favorites. Now, number 9, just barely edging out Spider-Man Homecoming, Far From Home, the latest MCU movie. I've only seen it once, so it could go down or up depending on what I think the second time, if I ever watch it a second time. I just really liked it. It has a lot of great action. I like the villain. Spoiler alert, it's Mysterio. Once again, the character of Peter Parker is played well. He has a great arc. He's a really, it's really good. Number 8, Captain America the Winter Soldier. Captain America the Winter Soldier is, I don't even know how to, describe how well they handle the character of Steve Rogers in this movie. They handle him way better than they did in, First Avenger, because they, change his entire worldview because Hydra turns out to be S.H.I.E.L.D. Great reveal. Spoiler alert again. If you haven't seen these movies and you are worried about spoilers, honestly, why did you click on a video called Marvel Movies Ranked? Why? Moving on, number 7, Black Panther. It's another movie that's overrated, but I have it at number 7, so I can't really say that. What can I say that other people haven't said about it? It's really good. And I've heard that it has weak action scenes from people. No, it doesn't. The action here is good. I don't know what people are talking about when they say that they don't like the action. It's fine. The final battle isn't, but everything besides that, fine. And this is one where the villain might get more spotlight than the hero, which I really like. Moving on, number 6, Iron Man. The first movie in the MCU. It's very different than nowadays MCU, but that doesn't mean it's not good. It's really good. It's just held back because other MCU movies have found this feel that I really like. This one's still good, it just doesn't have that feel. Tony Stark is great. He's a great character. He is my favorite MCU hero. I said earlier Captain America was my second, but he is the best MCU hero, even though 2 and 3 at the bottom of the list. Now, top 5. The 5 that are just the best. 5, Guardians of the Galaxy. I said that Ant-Man was the first time the MCU went full comedy. This one, it didn't go full comedy, but it was really funny. It was sort of a parody of superhero movies. has great characters. It's great. I really love it. 2 is not as good as this. I can't say that enough. Just no. Wait, I'm making it sound like I hate 2. I really don't. Number 4, The Avengers. The first time the big team up happened, and I've heard that a lot of people didn't think that this movie would be good because of that. But those people were all wrong. This movie is a masterpiece. The action, the way that the characters interact, it makes sense when you think about where they've been before this. It's great. It's well handled. I love it. Number 3, Civil War. Civil War has one of my favorite action scenes in the MCU, the airport battle. A lot of people say that was great, but that's not why I love this movie. I just love how believable it is that these characters would like choose the sides that they did. And it's really emotional because the Avengers tear apart. It's really good. Number 2, Avengers Infinity War. Last year, when I first saw this movie, I was shocked at how the ending was such a sad ending, that was unsatisfying, but the movie itself is satisfying. It's filled with great action scenes, great character interactions, a great villain. Thanos is the best villain in the MCU. It's great, but it can't beat my number 1, Avengers Endgame. Avengers Endgame, I have seen it twice now, and both times I watched it, I just can't even describe how amazing it is to like see the end to 22 movie franchise, the Infinity Saga, though it's not the end of the MCU, and just how satisfying they managed to make it. The final battle here is the best action sequence in the MCU. Airport battle is the second. Endgame, it has a few problems here and there that people have pointed out, but they're just small problems. The movie is spectacular. So yeah, that's my ranking of all of them. You can disagree. I mean, getting someone to agree on a 23 movie ranking, it's not gonna happen. I just hope you enjoyed the video, and that's my first video ever on YouTube, and yeah, I'm excited to start this new channel, so see ya.